Well, hello. If you landed here, you are on Let's Talk News, and there's so much to talk about today. I'm your host, Leticia Remauro, and I'm sorry to all of you um, who do not like when I screen share, but tonight's going to be a screen share night. I will, either I can share my screen with you or I could just read for you. One or the other. You decide. But I had doctor's appointments and other things today. And so I didn't have a lot of time to cut video. Hello, Debbie Lebedo. How are you? And how are you, Francine? Good to have you. Thank you guys for joining every night. Hello, Andrew Dorman and Angela Ricca, my dear friends. I really appreciate that you support the show because, as we discussed in the past, every conservative voice that continues to stay on air um, make sure that we keep our message going forward. And it's important that we do because, as we've said on this show many, many times, the big news stations are all in cahoots with one another. It's only really Fox and Newsmax that are out there giving the other side of the story. The rest are basically the Democratic National Committee's mouthpiece. So we need to get us little guys out there talking and chatting and doing our best to give the other side of the story when it comes to the news and what we know and what we hear. I was surprised that yesterday when we talked about Arizona and the glitch in the motor voter situation that put 218,000 people on the voter rolls. Um, who may or may not be citizens. They didn't check it out. The likelihood is they're not. Why do I say the likelihood is they're not? Because they all came in together and they came under the Biden administration. So the guess is that they're part of the Joe Biden um, refugees. And if they were registering to vote, they shouldn't be because they're not citizens yet. But it was a motor voter glitch, and we know that these refugees were placed in a way that was very, very pointed by the Biden administration, right? We saw how they came into Westchester, how they came into other red, of course, Texas, other red areas to up the population so that we would get more blue uh, Democrat Congress people. So, at any rate, why I brought it up was a lot of people didn't know about it. So, this show does dig deep into news that other people don't always report on. Talk radio is also good, especially when you get to call in and they air your views also. Yes, well, this is a form of talk radio. The thing is that we're not live talking, we are typing talking. Hello, Kevin Young. I hope you guys look at it as that. Hello, Grayson Jones. Good to have you with us. Thanks for joining us. I believe it's your first time. So, you, my friend, get a bell. Where are you from, Grayson? Okay, so before we start talking about news stories, I just want to know who has menorah candles lit, who has trees up, who has the Christmas spirit this year. Um, I'm interested in knowing uh, who's got their Christmas shopping done, who's got their Hanukkah shopping done. Anybody have big plans for the new year? The reason I ask is because today there was a story about um, unemployment, that unemployment was the highest that it has been in 4 years. And of course, we have the news, the big news media running with it and saying, oh, well, Trump should have fixed the economy by now. The reason that unemployment is up is because during the shutdown, Trump was able to dismiss many people from the federal government, which he wanted to do anyway. But that was all in the Democrats. They didn't. the jobs didn't have to, the economy didn't have to shut down, and Trump wouldn't have been able to get rid of people if the Democrats just voted for the continuing resolution. Uh, Kevin has a tree up. You should post a picture for us. I don't know if you can here, Kevin, but we all want to see Kevin's tree, don't we? So anyway, but as much as we keep on getting these reports that the economy is terrible and voter confidence is terrible, I spoke to a couple of friends who are entrepreneurs. They own restaurants and they own motorcycle stores. And they told me that they are doing great. And this Christmas season, they're doing spectacularly. And that they expect that next year is going to be really, really good. And they love the idea of the tariffs because they remember when the tariffs happened under Reagan, and for their industry, it really was a boon because how people got around the tariffs. Well, let me see. It was, let me see, Harley Davidson. Let me see how that worked. Reagan put tariffs on Japan, and Harley Davidson, or Reagan was putting tariffs out, and Harley Davidson went in and said that they couldn't compete with the Japanese bikes because the Japanese bikes cost less to make because of labor, and they were faster. And so Reagan put tariffs on the Japanese bikes over 750 cc's. And what happened was the Japanese came here, opened up Kawasaki and Honda and all their bike shops here, and they made the smaller bikes here. So it was a win-win for everybody. The people who wanted the bikes, the people who were making the bikes, it was a job creator. So tariffs do work. And to this day now, we still have these bikes being manufactured in America. So these jobs have stayed now since Reagan. What's that? That's 45 years? That's a long time. Maybe even longer, maybe 50 years. Ooh, almost 50 years. So anyway, they were telling me about this, and I think that that's good news. And I think that we have to call bullshit on the big media companies. House fully decorated, shopping done, baked, and will continue to bake up until Tuesday with grandkids. And I am in Christmas spirit because it's about the birth of our Savior, and that's the reason for the season. I will not allow anyone to steal my joy. Good for you, Debbie. Good for you. You get bells for that. You get Angela's bells for that one. Hi, Mom. How are you? Good to have you with us. Mom's been conking out before 8 o'clock. Because we've been going out running around doing Christmas shopping. Today we got the octopus and we got the fish for the 7 fishes. We got octopus and we got shrimp and we got galamad or squid, and we got scungili. So I just have a couple more things to do, and all 7. I have the anchovies. I've got to get crab meat, and I think we'll be all set. So at any rate, I've been running her ragged and she's been going to sleep. But as far as holiday budgets are concerned, after a bumpy year for the U.S. economy, Americans still expect to spend far more this year than they did in 2024. Shoppers anticipate spending $2,800 on average this holiday season, up more than $1,000 from last year, according to a BMO survey of 2,500 people. This is Investopedia. Out of all the generations, millennials expect to spend the most, about $4,400. Meanwhile, baby boomers anticipate spending at least $1,600. So Gen Z, $2,200, millennials, $4,400, Gen X, $2,500, baby boomers, $1,600, and on average, that's $2,800. So inflation has fallen from its recent peak in the summer of 2022. There are still high prices on the shelves, and as of September, prices have risen 3% year over year, in part due to supposedly Trump's tariffs on imported goods, but we know that that is not True, because we know that Walmart and Costco and who are the other ones? Walmart, Costco, Amazon are all price gouging and pretending that it has to do with tariffs. So that's bullshit. But people are not spending. Do you understand? So they're either their salaries are there, they have more money. You can't say that people are poor and are spending more because after 4 years of credit card extensions and everything else, people are spending more. I was on the wrong show. Oh, well, whose show were you on, Mom? That's funny. Uh, that's why I got my tree up. The birth of Jesus. There you go. Birth of Jesus, indeed. And that spirit we keep in our hearts all year long. We don't just have to wait till Christmas for it. That's kind of my feeling about the whole thing. But at any rate, something else interesting happened today. In the reporting of the Rob Reiner murders, I shouldn't say murders because um, YouTube is going to probably cut me off. But the death of Rob Reiner and his wife. Guess who was at the party and who was planning to see them the next day? Just guess. Everybody guess, and then I'll actually share it with us. There we go. It was the Obamas. The Obamas were supposed to see the Reiners the day they died, Michelle Obama says. Rob Reiner and Michelle Reiner had plans with their longtime friends, Michelle Obama and former President Barack Obama, on Sunday, the day that the filmmaker and his wife were found dead inside their Los Angeles home, according to the former First Lady. We were supposed to be seeing them last night, and we got the news, said Michelle Obama during an interview on Jimmy Kimmel Live Monday night. She told host Jimmy Kimmel that she and her husband had known the couple for many, many years. She went on to describe them as some of the most decent, courageous people you will ever want to know. They're not deranged or crazed, Michelle Obama said, referencing President Trump's disparaging comments about Rob Reiner in the wake of his death. They were the kind of people who were ready to put their actions behind what they cared about, and they cared about their family. They cared about this country. They cared about fairness and equity, and that's the truth. Well, I just find it odd that, not that it has any connection, but the Obamas are almost as bad as the Clintons with people that they know wind turning up dead. It's amazing to me. Yeah, Angela had it right, Obama. Um, I mean, is this circle so small in Hollywood that everybody's connected to one another? Is that why? I don't know. I just think it's odd. It's odd that Obama, Michelle, and Barack are so involved in Hollywood stuff. I think it's very interesting. Someone else said this and posted a tribute, but equated it to Charlie Kirk's murder for some reason. Do you know why? Someone else said this and posted a tribute, but equated it to Charlie Kirk's murder. I don't know. Said what about the Obamas? I'm not sure. Or that quote that I read from Michelle Obama. I don't know. All I know is this: is that we talked about this last night. It was inappropriate what President Trump did. I think he was trying to prove a point. I don't think it landed well. What's that point? That when Charlie Kirk was murdered, people came out and criticized him and said he deserved it and all kinds of things. And Trump certainly didn't say that, but his commentary was less than gracious. And I think that, and those same people that came out, criticizing Kirk and applauding his death we're going crazy over what Trump had to say about Rob Reiner. When he started out by saying that it was a shame and it was tragic. But then he talked about the fact that, Rob kind of had this TDS situation going on and it was driving people around him crazy. That wasn't necessary. But people ran with that as being like the craziest thing that was ever said. No, no, no. Craziest thing that was ever said was that somebody deserved to get murdered for their political beliefs. And that was the Democrats that were saying it. Just nasty people. He loved communism. Well, listen, it's Hollywood. Anyone in Hollywood, you have to be that way to be successful in Hollywood. You can't be a Republican in Hollywood. Look what they did to Roseanne Barr. Look at what they did to her. They destroyed that woman. They absolutely destroyed that woman. I think I said the word murder too many times. Our viewership, either that or I'm really boring because our viewership is down. About the Obamas. The tribute. Oh, interesting. Maybe somebody was thinking what we have been talking about. And it was a misprint. I don't know. I can't explain it. Deb, I'm sorry. I agree it's inappropriate what Trump said, especially as the president, but why is it okay that Rob Reiner talked about when Trump got shot that was an inch or two off or something like that? Why is that okay? It's not. That's the whole thing, right? The whole thing is it's not okay, Angela. None of it's okay. But I think sometimes we should be the bigger people. If what Trump was doing was trying to demonstrate the hypocrisy of the left, then he should have came out and said that after he posted or whatever. I have yet to see that he said that. But it was clear what was happening there and what he was trying to do. Reiner's son probably didn't like the Obamas. I don't know. I don't know. They supposedly he had an argument with a comedian at the house, and he had presence of mind. I mean, look, I'm putting things together. I don't know, right? We're speculating as we always do on this show, but supposedly from reporting is that the kid got the hotel room, and when he got the hotel room after the party at Conan O'Brien's house, he was fine. There was no blood, no cuts, no scrapes, no anything. He, used his credit card, he booked the hotel room, and that was it. But when the police found him there, the room was covered in blood, and there was blood everywhere, including on the windows. So now, that just tells me that he had presence of mind to get the hotel room, to, I guess, stay there after he had a fight with his parents. Either that he went there and then he got so angry that he went back, killed the parents, and came back to the hotel room, or he knew what he was going to do and he got the hotel room first. One or the other. I might have been the latter. It might have been the former. That he decided he was going to sleep there, and then he was festering and said, "No, damn, I'm going to go give them what for," and then went home. We think it, but not say it. Yeah. I guess you're right. Colleen's here. Hello, Colleen. Exactly. Yeah. Sounds like he was still on meth. That's a crazy drug. 17 times in rehab. Sad. Yeah, it does. They say that at the O'Brien party, he was hopped up and he wasn't right. And it's a sin. All those people see that. I mean, what can you do? I mean, what do you do? Do you talk to the parents? What do you do when you see something like that? It's just so tragic. Maybe he was sexually abused throughout his Hollywood upbringing in bed, had deeper reasons for killing them. That could be. I mean, we know that he wasn't a child actor though, and those were his parents. Oh, let me finish that thought. Those were his parents. He wasn't an actor. He's been since he's a teenager. That doesn't mean that some of those Hollywood types that prefer children weren't. Didn't get hold of him. So you might actually be right, Colleen. The Staten Island Advance reported that Michelle Reiner took the photograph of Trump for the cover of his book. Did anybody else hear that anywhere else? I didn't. Um, but the Advance reported it. I didn't have a chance to kind of deep dive into it, but that's interesting. That's really interesting if that's so. Um, yeah. So that's what they said. So you can go. Whoever has the Advance, you can look at that. Okay. So what else is going on? Wait, we still have people wanting to talk. Reiner was on Epstein's list, and kids get trafficked even if they're not actors. Wow, that's interesting. That's well, I mean, and here's the other thing about Epstein too. I mean, was everybody on Epstein's list a child predator, or were they leeches, or they ran in the circle? I don't know, and I hate that guilt by association stuff. Um, Listen, I'm always giving people the benefit of the doubt, especially after what happened to me. I don't think it's right that people just because they were somewhere or somehow in the wrong place at the wrong time, all of a sudden, now they're that person too. I'm not forgiving anybody, but and I'm not saying that Rob was or wasn't. I don't know. Um, I hate that Epstein was able to wiggle his way into so many people's lives, and now that list is going to destroy so many lives because you're never going to know, right? If somebody was on it, they're a predator. Automatically, they're going to be stamped a predator, um, and that's scary. That's scary. I mean, how many people could have been just business people that, oh, my friend is, throwing a party. You want to go? Okay, sure. We can network. We could sell our widget, and they all go. And maybe at that moment there wasn't a underage situation going on. Who knows? But that list, boy, that list is going to be something else. Yeah. Let's see. Look at how many Hollywood kids are trans and mentally ill. That's true. I don't know why Hollywood is guiding children to become trans, but it feels like that they are. I know one housewife whose three of her four children are gay, and I think one or two are trans. That's a little much. I think that any doctor would tell you that that's above the norm. So what is it? What is it? I don't know. Let's see. Drugs, crimes always alter good judgment and reasoning. Yeah, well, that's alcohol too. I mean, how many deaths can we attribute to mind altering stuff? Why no talk about Epstein? Seems like it disappeared. Oh, because the people on the list were mostly Democrats. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Is mostly Hollywood Democrats. Once the Reiner stuff came out, that he was on the list, that seems like it went away right after that. Nobody cares about any name but Trump. That's the sad part. Yeah. And Trump has said it from the beginning that, he was friendly with Epstein like everybody else. And then he cut him off when he realized he was weird and odd. But yeah, that's the only name that we're going to talk about. Hi there. Had a hard time getting on. I'm sorry, Susan. If ever you have a hard time getting on Facebook, just go to YouTube and just Google Let's Talk News, and you'll get me right away, and you'll be able to get on there, and you can still comment on YouTube. Okay, so let's see. We talked a little bit last night about the 4 people arrested by the FBI for this terrorist plot that was targeting California businesses, and now we're finding out that um, they were. I'm sorry, I said California businesses, and I meant California government agencies, most specifically ICE. So there are 4 people: Tina Lay, Zachary Aaron Page, Audrey Carroll, and Dante Gaffield, were charged with conspiracy and possession of an unregistered destructive device on Monday, December 14th. The four are allegedly a part of Turtle Island Liberation Front, an extremist group motivated by pro-Palestinian anti-law enforcement and anti-government ideology. So these people who were planning a New Year's Eve terrorist act, and who were in possession of these explosive devices, have pulled themselves together to kind of undermine America. And I'm still waiting, and I think it's very important. And I know a lot of people are waiting for a lot of things, but I'm waiting to find out where this money is coming from, because Marco Rubio said he was going to get to the bottom of it, and we're still waiting for that. So somewhere soon we've got to be able to trace this money. I don't understand how we can't. In Canada during COVID, they were able to lock out truckers from their bank accounts, right? Debank them, and then they debanked Melania Trump and Barron Trump after 2020, after January 6th. So how is it we can't get to the bottom of where this money's coming from yet? It really is disturbing to me. Andrew Dorman agrees with you, Colleen, and so do I. So that's really pissing me off a lot. That this plot is out there, this group is out there, that these cells are being able to fester, and now all of them sound American, and I bet you they're all younger people. I don't know. Did I read their? No. Did I read their ages? Yeah. Oh, 41, 32, 30, and 24. So they're not so young. Interesting. Let's see. Hours before the four suspects were identified, FBI Director Kash Patel announced that the FBI disrupted a credible imminent terrorist threat in which the group was allegedly planning coordinated IED, improvised explosive device, bombing attacks on New Year's Eve, targeting live separate locations across Los Angeles. The four people self-identified as members of the Turtle Island Liberation Front. Patel described the organization as an extremist group motivated by pro-Palestinian anti-law enforcement and anti-government ideology. So Bondi is going to throw the book at these people, and good, and absolutely good. Seems this world is really going dark. It's scary. Yeah, well, they want America gone, and they know they can't get it while Trump is sitting there. That's why they keep on going after him. Who's the they? The global elitists. Who are they all? Not sure exactly all of them. But once we start following the money, we'll be able to see. Why do things take so long with all this technology? I feel like old-time cops caught more people. You know what? I think it's a matter of publication, a matter of what's live and what's not. Like Hedseth, he won't release the video of the boat, the double tap on the boat, and I don't blame him, because we should not be releasing those videos to the public, because the public means how many of our enemies that will study that and get. It's like somebody making public a football playbook. No, you don't do that. That's crazy. And we're not talking about football. I'm sorry. I don't know where that came from. We're talking about the protection of our nation. So yeah, no, absolutely no. I think, Colleen, it's got to do with some things they got to keep quiet until they can get everything they need for prosecution, because you can see they don't have the judges that they need to do the job that they have to do, because they haven't approved the judges. So how many things Bondi has, Tish James, she still hasn't been able to catch Tish James or James Comey, because they keep throwing it out. So they really have to be super, super, super precise. I think COVID and locking us up caused indoctrination in many ways, because the internet was programming in all areas. I agree with that statement. Everybody else agree? They all didn't look like Americans. Yeah, well, they sound American, but sounding, who knows? I mean, what does an American look like anyway? We are every color of the rainbow and every name, that there is. Who knows? Who knows anymore? Security camera pics are never clear. They rarely catch anyone, and half the time I think they're scapegoats. That's true. It's like, the sightings of Bigfoot on the History Channel. We never can get a clear picture of the Bigfoot, right? But we have Bigfoot chasers all over the place, and the cameras always, just off in the distance. You never get a clear picture. Give me a break. With security cameras, the same. We don't need to know or see everything. I agree. I want my government to, if I wanted to do the job, then why do we need the government? Why do we need them, right? If we had to look over everything, then why do we need them? And for Congress to say, oh, we want to see everything, we want to release it, and these little fuckers who haven't served a day in combat, want to put our military at risk by releasing everything publicly, I say absolutely no. Put them in the field, and then, first of all, release all the shit that they don't want released. If they want this released, well, then I'd say, let's release their home addresses and everything else. Although that's probably public because you need it to run. But I don't know. I'll figure it out. I will release something that they don't want released. Tim Walsh was demanded by Trump to resign, or he is going after him. Oh, good. Well, he's fighting on a lot of fronts, Trump. I wish he would just pick his battles better. But Minnesota, that's a big one. That's a big one. Because he might be colluding. I mean, we talked about it, right? Maybe it was no accident that Kamala put him there. Maybe it wasn't Kamala who put him there. Was it Obama that put him there as the VP candidate? Is this still a collaboration with Biden and all the people there? There's so many questions and so few answers. Sorry, switching gears to Australia. My heart broke when an elderly couple were the first to try to sort off one of the shooters and were both killed in each other's arms. That one got me. Every one of those lives, every one of these lives that are being lost to these terrorist attacks, every one of them gets me. But the one thing I can say, Angela, is God had a reason, and He let them die together. And you know what? I hope that my husband and I die together because I'd hate to live without him. So God bless them. Trump to address nation tomorrow at 9 p.m. Good. It's about freaking time. It's been, it feels like he's been in office forever, doesn't it? Oh, we're going over. I got to go. They don't want all the J6 footage released or voting results. Lol. Oh, that's true. Okay, let's release that first. Okay, guys, I will see you tomorrow at 8 o'clock. We have a lot to talk about. We always do. And also that ACA, Johnson said no, he's not going to let the bill come to the floor. So a Republican, Fitzpatrick, is trying to push it out to the floor. Idiot, asshole. Anyway, I'm tired of bullshit Republicans who only worry about their own ass. I really am. All right, I'll see you at 8 o'clock tomorrow. Bye, everybody. Thanks for watching. Share with